Hi everybody, so it's Lisa here. I want to discuss something that I think was either a paranormal experience or an actual vision that still, from time to time, will come back to me, and I remember it clear as day. I don't know if my counselors remember this or even remember who I am. But let's get into it. First, we have our pumpkin spice creamered Folgers coffee. Oh yeah. Delicious. So let's get into it. Okay. I wanted to go into Bible camp. Okay. And my school at the time of my hometown of where I lived were handing out vouchers for multiple activities and events that you could take your children to. I, for some reason, I don't know why, felt that I needed to go and do something, and I saw the voucher for David Thompson Bible Camp. It was an amazing experience, by the way, but when I saw that voucher, I was like, I had to take it home. So I took it home, and I begged and begged for my parents to take me. When they said they didn't know if they could afford to even take me, I was devastated, I was crying, I was very upset, and I believe it was my grandmother who helped my parents actually afford for me to go to Bible camp. I got so excited that I packed everything, including snacks, because I didn't know whether or not we would be able to have snacks. And so ended up keeping my snacks home, but took everything that I actually needed. And I was supposed to be gone for 2 weeks, but I only stayed for 1 week. And here's why. Okay? So here is the David Thompson Bible Camp. It's an actual camp. Absolutely loved it. You can go horseback riding, figure out your own personal skills on what you're good at. I thought I was good at archery. Turned out that you're supposed to actually hit the target and not try to aim at a bird. And it wasn't my fault. He said your arms need to be strengthened and, done a certain way, right? So I did what he said. Turned out I did not have the strength in my arms at that time. I was only 7 or 9 years old. Was not my fault. But here you could see the cabins, and you could see the kitchen area where you can also find out your skills, whether or not you are belonging in the kitchen or somewhere else. There's canoeing, there's swimming, there's so much more. The basketball court, the tether court, the soccer area, where you go and sing at the campfire late at night. They're late at night is like between 9 and 10 o'clock. It's the same thing. They have wall climbing experiences and skills. So much. I was probably like on my fourth day there, and I was having a great time. Like, I was a normal kid doing normal activities. I was so excited and pumped up, and I was like, ah! Well, okay, you get to have like money, right, that your parents give you. Well, they use that as a budget so you could buy your snacks every day without going over budget and wasting all your money. Live wires were my thing. That and Doritos, which I still have. And anywho, one night, counselors have told me this, by the way, when I finally woke up the next day. I was having a great time with everybody in my cabin. And every cabin is linked with, it has their own number, and 2 counselors that go to the cabin and stay at the cabin with the group of kids. There's boy cabins, and then there's girl cabins. None of which are allowed to, you can't have a boy in a girl cabin, and you can't have a girl in a boy cabin, obviously, for obvious reasons. But anywho, we were having a great time. We were playing, we were singing, we were telling ghost stories, we were praying for each other, we were saying things about each other that we would like to share, like, hi, my name is Lisa, I like the color purple, I like the color black, so on and so forth. And you just make new friends, right? As you go along, you get to know people, right? Anywho, when we were told to go to bed, we were all going to bed. Apparently, when I was having my dream, which I thought was a dream, I was sleepwalking. I got out of my bunk bed and I walked outside where the counselors were, because the counselors sit outside the cabin and it gives the kids a chance to actually fall asleep. And one of the counselors, out of the two, they go around and they check to make sure everybody's okay, that everybody is safe. And then they come back and then they just, you know, kind of like a parent, right? Well, apparently I got out of my bed, walked on out the cabin door, looked at them with a blank expression. I'm not kidding you. This actually happened. I looked at them and one of the counselors asked if I was okay. I started to burst into tears. They said, honey, you need to go back to bed. So now I went back to bed. And when I woke up, they told me that I had peed my bed. And they asked me about it. And I started crying because I felt embarrassed. I said, I'm embarrassed. I'm not that girl. Like, I don't do that. I'm a good girl. And they thought I was lying. I'm like, I'm not lying. I don't pee the bed. Well, apparently, when I told them, like, they said, is it because you miss home? I said, no. I'm having a great time. I want to stay here for a little bit longer. Like, you know, like, I really like it here. And so they asked me, well, did you have a bad dream? That's when I told them my dream, and they were quite shocked. So my dream, what I think was actually a vision, was I was in my hometown, and I was walking around town like I normally do, right? And I was much older, but I still had my voice, like, you know? And everybody was angry, they were just filled with so much anger and hate, and I was just like, okay. I walked up to the school in my hometown, and I remember that the vehicles weren't starting, they didn't work. And I saw Jesus in the sky, and like, it was just his face. Like, it was legit his face. And I'm like, I can't remember what I asked, but then I didn't get a response. And then I remember saying, what's going on? And I don't fully remember his first response, but I remember his second response was that we weren't believing. And I at the time did not understand, okay? And I was just between 7 years old and 9 years old. I was just a young kid. And it terrified me because the sky went dark fiery red. And like, I looked behind me, and the road that I was on in my hometown, there was a group of people. They were so angry. They were like a mob coming after you because you did something very bad, right? And when I told this to the counselor, we immediately went to the prayer room. We started praying over my family, over my friends. She prayed over me, and, you know, I apologized, and she contacted my parents. They told my parents what went on. I went home. So I believe I had a vision, and in the Bible it says when Jesus comes, it'll be read. So